Hello everybody, it's me, Zeke, aka All in Movement. I just want to say, first of all, one love. And this is my first video, and I'd like to talk about, kind of what my journey is so far in life. First of all, I'd like to thank Ralph Smart, aka Infinite Waters. I first watched this video once. It caught my eye when I was scrolling through some videos, and it's about decalcifying the pineal gland. Well, little did I know how much that was going to change my life. I started doing more and more research on that, and I realized, a lot. I started realizing a lot about myself and, who I was and, kind of who I thought I was, I guess you would say, but never really truly was, if that even makes sense. But yeah, once again, thank you, Ralph Smart, for you've been a huge inspiration for me, and I appreciate you. AKA, go check him out, Infinite Waters. All right, back to about what I have in my journey so far. So, a little bit about myself. I was I grew up pretty poor, if you will, and lived in a decent childhood, I guess, and decided to join the military, where I decided that at that point I was going to, do a career there, because that's what I thought I wanted to do. I was young, out of high school, or getting out of high school, and that's kind of where I led. I had some troubles in life and some things like that kind of led to the situation, but that's kind of where I was going. And I joined the military, ended up having to do a tour in Iraq, back when it first kicked off in 2003, and that kind of changed my life. I realized very quickly that I don't want to be a weapon for anything that is negative anymore. I had PTSD. I am a PTSD veteran, and I got aches and pains to my body because of being in the military and things of that. But it's a day-by-day struggle. But it's my journey and my goal in life now to research and find out how to make myself better. Like Ralph Smart says, my journey in life is to be the best me that I can be. And that's what I'm trying to do, So I started doing some, research and trying to figure out what's going to help me in my journey. My journey with PTSD, my journey in mainly in that, naturally, because that's what was affecting my life, affecting my marriage, affecting my familyhood, affecting who I was, the anxiety that would get built up, just wanting to curl up in a ball and not leave, not wanting to be around people, not being able to open up and trust people. All these things are very tragic to people, and it's not just war people, it's anyone who's been through any type of tragic situation like PTSD. This is something that we have to take seriously. They say that there's 22 soldiers that die every day, I believe it is, from suicide, and that's extremely sad, because we could be helping these people by doing simple things. One of the things that I first did after doing more and more research, diving into some of Infinite Waters' videos, is I found that, he always promotes a 7-day vegan challenge. So I decided that one day I was going to try it. So I made a day, and I decided that, I went camping the weekend before with a bunch of buddies, and, we went out and we ate a bunch of meat, we ate a bunch of stuff. I mean, we just partied, it was a camping trip, just a bunch of guys fishing, having fun. Knowing that when I got back, I was going to go at least 1 month as a vegan. So, and I got back after doing that, and I went cold turkey, no meat, nothing, just plant-based diet, for an entire month. And I started noticing the differences so fast. I started realizing that I can sleep at night. I can actually get a little bit of sleep without being woken up. My anxiety has very slowly started to dissipate. I mean, it isn't gone, but it's definitely going in the right direction. And to me, that is a lot. There's been a lot of things like my anger. My anger is almost dissipated completely. And then I started doing stuff, more and more research, and just finding out that, there's a lot to it. Energy from the animal. We are DNA, and every living thing on this planet is DNA, and it has its own energies attached to it, and its own frequencies and things of that nature. And when we treat these animals badly in these type of environments where they're in these, cattle farms and things like that, where it's some of them can get pretty bad, and when they're in these type of environments, with this kind of torture that they kind of essentially endure, and then they slaughter them, throw them under, into a freezer, and then you cook them up and eat it. That DNA, that energy has to go somewhere. It can't be destroyed. It has to be transferred. So where do you think it goes? I'm assuming it's probably going into your body. And, those are things that we as people are taking in every day, and these negative things, this negative energy. And when I changed that out of my life and started eating, plant-based foods and things of that nature, I started to grow. My intuition started to get better. I decided I just felt healthier, happier even. I mean, oddly enough, like, I didn't miss meat after a while. It was hard maybe for the first week, but now just the taste of and the smell of meat would be, I don't want it, and if that's not your journey to give up meat, then more power to you. I'm not saying you have to this is my journey. These are things that have helped me. If you want to try them, I hope you do, because my goodness, it has been a huge, huge help to me. Another thing I started finding out was frequencies, the Solfeggi frequencies. I started meditating to them. Started meditating to the frequency 528, which is the frequency of love. I started having to warm up my heart again, and had to say to the world, that I am willing to give up certain things like meat as a penance for the lives and the things I've done on this planet. I can't put that life back on the planet. Why should I be able to take it off and eat it? So I chose that path. And when I started meditating, it totally changed my life. I think that was one of the biggest things I've ever done, is just meditating every day. I put on some frequencies like 528, do some research. Look at the Solfeggi frequencies. I'm telling you, Solfeggi frequencies, look it up, people. It will change your life if you do it. You meditate with that 30 minutes a day. Sit down, think of nothing. I know people are like, oh, I can't find 30 minutes a day. My life is so busy. Find the time. I'm telling you, you will change your life this way. You go Google, YouTube, 528 hertz, Solfeggi frequencies. There's a list of them, and just find it, plug it into wherever you have to do, and meditate 30 minutes a day. Clear your mind, think of nothing, and you'll be amazed at how happy you'll feel. You'll be amazed at how things will just start to work in your favor, because that's how it's supposed to. We're supposed to live in abundance. We need to live in the now. Too many people focus on the past, which I did for years. And, a lot of people also focus a lot on the future. And don't get me wrong, I believe that we need to plan for the future, but you can't future trip. Do what you love now. And the things that you want to do in the future will come. You live in abundance. The power of the spoken word is huge. People, stop saying you can't. Stop saying I'm fat. Stop saying I'm this, I'm that. Unless the things coming out of your mouth after I am is positive, stop doing it. What you are doing is putting subliminal messages in your head, and it's subliminally taking in that thing that you're saying you are not good enough, and the universe is you're telling the universe that you are not good enough, and you're subliminally making yourself not good enough. But when you say I am, and I can, and I will, man, your life will change. I'm not going to go too deep into this because it's my first video. And if you like anything you've heard, please subscribe, like if you can. I'm going to try to make this as as frequent as I possible can. Sorry for the rudimentary kind of first video. I promise you I will get better. But this is my life. This is my journey as a war veteran, 80% war veteran, man. PTSD, tinnitus, back pains, you name it. And I struggled for years and years and years, and lost a lot, almost lost everything. And I decided I had to change. And that video I seen about decalcifying the pineal gland, man, that was huge. I mean, people, do your research. We are much more than meets the eye. We are way more than meets the eye. I can't wait to dive into more subjects with you guys. Remember, like what you see, like the video, subscribe, and let's have some fun. Once again, I am Zeke, aka All in Movement. I will explain the All in Movement if you want to look it up a little bit. It's OLLIN. It's movement. It's an Aztec, kind of the third eye type deal. Talking about movement and change and making things happen. So once again, one love. And until next time, peace.